Hello everyone, no respawns here, hope you're doing well. So this is my favourite water purifier I've ever done. I'm putting that one out there. This looks cool, I really like it. It actually looks badass, is the end result. And it's quite easy to do, as you can see this is quite a short video. I did cut out a little bit of my fuckery in regards to kind of putting some boxes and stuff down, because that's kind of was me just mixing up using them as fences, as you'll see in our highlight. Mainly because I cut it out because it was just 20 minutes of me just going, I'm going to put this box here. But it looks very cool. Now, like, my idea, probably gathered already, was that I did want my water purifier to look like it was protected in some way. So, similar-ish to how I done the water purifier in Sanctuary, as you remember, and I imagine how a lot of you have done your water purifiers in the past as well. So, it ended up looking really cool. Like, much cooler than I thought it would be. I had two options to go with. One was, so I put three water purifiers actually inside. So I put a big one, and then the wee ones. Also, I did scroll through and have a look, because we actually have these windmill water pumps, and the Voltec water pumps, which I can never get to actually work, but I end up going for the vanilla ones, and I'm quite pleased, because they look cool anyway. I do want to get that Voltec one working at some point though. I do like doing this little technique, just kind of putting two smaller water purifiers next to a big one. It just kind of looks cool, and also just kind of gives it a bit more of how can I put it? Just a bit more of an industrial area, like it's like loads of purifiers working together, and plus it mixes it up. So as you can see, so I've surrounded it with foundations. Now this is where I had so plan A was to do what I was about to do now. Plan B is a little bit different. I wanted to see if I could put them in the water. It didn't work, and so this is plan B. Plan A is over really quickly when I realised I can't actually put them in the water. And plan B is really cool. So I've seen people do this a little bit in arenas, by the way. It's quite a good idea, because it just gives this kind of fighting pit kind of look. And it's just very cool. I've seen quite a few people do it for kind of like, the Thunderdome style arenas. I might do it myself at some point, but it looks very grand. And so that's pretty much how I'm going to surround it, as you can see. So I've gotten three, and don't worry about matching up. They match up really well. 3 and then 2 on one side, or is it? And that's 3 more, I think. Yeah, so it's 9 of them. And then also we do the front as well, but the front you can I use smaller ones so you can look in. It looks very cool. And also means that the only way you can actually shoot at the water purifiers is going around the front, and I end up having turrets and shit. So as you can see right here, obviously I can't actually have them an even number around, but I can put some at the angle, and, which I don't do until I try doing this once, is I can put a little board down. Because even though obviously on the inside it will look a little bit weird, seeing it kind of go over the centre bit, here it works quite well. That makes no logical... I just rambled. What? I just said gibberish then. What I mean to say is, me doing this from the inside might look a little bit weird, but from the outside it works really well. But you can't actually get inside, so there we go. There we go. See, it matches up really nicely. Because of the fact that you can't see inside, so I decided to go, because you may notice I normally go for the wooden of the bigger junk fences. And also I go for the straight topped ones. I just like the way it curved at the top. I thought it just kind of gave it a little bit more of an unusual structure. Well, already an unusual structure, but it just kind of made it even a little bit weirder, which I quite like. And it really just kind of makes the structure. So just get in there. It was all actually really easy. And then just match it up. This turns out so badass. Like, already it looks cool, doesn't it? And then when I have the bits in the front and the boards on the side, and the junk decoration, all that jazz, it just looks grand. I'm quite pleased. Quite pleased. The other building we've got to do now, and I think I might do it kind of on the opposite side of the castle to this, I'm thinking. Or maybe I want it facing up. I was going to do our wind farm. The guard posts I quite like. The only thing I'm a little bit miffed with these is, as you can see, I mean, they make sense structurally. They would be able to hang over like this without, needing to worry about them. Not because, they're not very far off, but just because of the way the guard post looks when you've got those kind of posts on the front of it. It just does look a little bit like it could do with something underneath. Unfortunately, you just can't put anything in the water here, which is a shame. I mean, you can put foundations, but I can't I did try during my decoration period of running over there and kind of like putting some of those big supports from the ones I use from the what do we call it all the time? What are they called? The ball track supports. That's the ones I'm thinking of. The ball track supports. Those 2 pillars that I use. They would have looked really cool. Unfortunately, I couldn't. I think it might just be the water might be too deep, and so you can't put anything there, which is a bit unfortunate. So oh yeah. So what I'm doing right here is obviously where the foundations connect to the ground. We obviously want something, you know, connecting them, and I do like doing my little bespoke walkways and things, so obviously I decided to do one with pallets. I didn't put any ladders. I was going to put a little staircase going on because the side that was closest to us now is obviously a little bit raised, but to be honest, it's kind of like you can just kind of, I can imagine them just kind of walking up it. I decided to not do any staircases, so there we go. And the guards, I assigned 2 guards from that mod that I showed a while back, which enables you to kind of drop, basically just place guards. And I assigned 2 of them, and they meander around a little bit, so it's cool. As you can see, it looks grand. Actually, seriously, I love these, absolutely love these, what do we call it? These pallets. They just make such nice surfaces. Because it just mixes up the texture a little bit. I love mixing up the texture. As you can see, I've replaced loads of boxes down, by the way. I did that, and I did record it for a bit, but when I do my decoration, I end up just changing them all around. I'm moving them out and putting fences underneath and then putting them back in, so I just kind of thought, fuck it. Because the problem is, I like using boxes as walls, but it's not, because they don't have really an exact length and shape, they rarely actually fit the exact area you need to be, so you have to kind of mix them in with other stuff, so it's cool. This is my incredibly elaborate... because I couldn't get this in. And occurs to me, because I'm a fucking muppet, that I probably didn't need to do any of what I'm doing right now. I think I could have just pillar glitched that platform in. I mean, it works, doesn't matter. It's definitely in right now, so it's fine. It occurs to me when I'm watching it now, but I probably didn't need to do that. See what I'm doing here? It probably would have just pillar glitched it from the side, and it would have gone in quite fine. Well, fuck off, yeah? It didn't occur to me. It occurred to me now, so technically it occurred to me before it's occurring to you, because I haven't even rendered this video yet. And that doesn't actually take very long in the video, but for me, obviously, it took a while. So there we go. That's my little story. Also had to take one of those rugs off because it was stopping me putting this board in there and I didn't realise, but it's fine because the thing only jumped down a little bit, so it's alright. It's good. Nearly finished now. We're just going to add a bit more decoration. Oh, we've got the front bit to do as well. Yeah. So you can see right here, it looks a little bit messy, but I end up like tidying up these walls. I just wanted my kind of slightly junky bespoke fences on the side. Because if I was going to put just railings, and if you put just railings, it just looks a little bit, you know, wank. Because it's a bit boring. So I kind of mix up the surfaces a little bit of the walls, as you'll see. And don't worry, we add bits and pieces, so these thicker bits don't look silly poking off the edges. That's what I like doing. That's what I like doing, making stupid little fences. That's my life now, I make fences. I send emails at work and I make fences. Particularly shit fences that don't really stop you from, well, they may stop you from falling off, I guess, but they look a bit ramshackle. Anyway, this looks really cool. I'm really pleased with how this turned out. Mwahaha. I also like the fact that I knew in advance what I wanted to build. That often isn't the case with me. I'm like, this one was... I had a vague image of this in my head. That this usually, as I mentioned before, my process, people are like, well, you know, what's your process? And often it's a combination of just making everything up as I go along and just liking what I end up with, which is the normal one I go for. Or occasionally, just occasionally, I have a vague idea of what I'm going to do. I prefer it a bit of both, because I like being spontaneous and just kind of thinking something as I go. You might notice that even though you feel like sometimes you need to plan your builds, often you'll just kind of make them up as you go along, and it works really, really well. And that's what I normally do. But in this one I planned, which enabled me to kind of tweak it a little bit. Now this little part here, so you'll see me put this junk fence in here, this one. But as a note, I actually, where I put it, what you should do is put it on the right, so there's a gap in the center. See, I've got a gap there, and I eventually plugged that with a board that I ended up cutting out, because in the decoration I ended up plugging it with just a board in the center, as you can see. So here it is. It looks very cool. You've got your guards. It's very cool. If you look at the front, what I was talking about. So I've moved it, and there's basically I just went behind it and just pillar glitched one of those kind of medium walls, and then just put some signs on, so it looks a lot more even and centered. But it looks like a barge, doesn't it? Like, doesn't mean it look like kind of like a barge that's landed on the sea. And the great thing is, you can see, you can only get it from the front. So I got my 2 turrets and my 2 guards. I might reposition the turrets because they're placed a bit silly, and the guards just kind of wander around like mongs. But anyway, got some junk. Hope you guys like this. This is very cool. I love this water purifier area. Similar-ish how I used to do it, but even better as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, as always, follow me on Twitter at norespawns. I have a new video up soon, and you guys enjoy your grand weekend. You glorious twats. Anyway, take care.